Professors with two Washington universities recently picked up Soap Lake water samples dating back about 70 years. Leo Bodensteiner with Western Washington University and Anthony Gabriel with Central Washington University took the samples from the basement of McKay Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center to a laboratory at CWU for study. The hope is to see how the water's mineral makeup has changed over time. Why are the water samples significant to Soap Lake's history? Soap Lake Conservancy Chairman John Glasgow explained before he recently met with the scientists over aging boxes of Soap Lake water samples in McKay's basement.
The Soap Lake Conservancy is dedicated to the preservation and restoration of Soap Lake. So how can we restore the lake to its original glory if we don't know what that original glory actually was? So these samples represent the only remaining archive of the original chemical and some biological, I imagine, constituents of Soap Lake.
The water samples were for decades stored in the University of Washington lab of Professor W.T. Tommy Edmondson, who long studied Soap Lake's waters but was killed in a car crash in 2000. The water samples came back to Soap Lake in the mid-2000s, and McKay's administrator at the time agreed to store them there. Bodensteiner, a Department of Environmental Science professor at Western Washington University, shared what would next happen to the samples.
The lake is a unique ecosystem, but it's been affected by the creation of Lake Roosevelt and the creation of the irrigation canals, and it's been freshening since the 1950s. Lake level's been fluctuating. This provides us a record that goes back, predates that, so we can actually look at rates. I mean, one of the concerns is preservation of Soap Lake, and this gives us another view at how fast the lake may be changing. And it also gives us, it's nice to look at what the historical mineral contents were, especially that bottom layer.
McKay Healthcare Center, today a nursing home, holds a critical bookmark in Soap Lake's history. McKay was built in 1938 to treat and study World War I veterans with Buerger's disease using Soap Lake's so-called healing waters. McKay Administrator Sam Van Meter explained why the center's staff decided to keep the samples in a safe place.
We have staff members working here that are third generation. Their grandparents worked here, their parents worked here and retired, and now they work here. And they felt this sense of connection and continuity with the community, and they work to preserve these samples.
I'm Jeff Chu for iFiber One News.